South Dorset Ridgeway, Saxon times.
So, gentlemen, did you enjoy that walk?
I'm shattered now.
Well, don't worry, you can lie down with the rest of the dead Saxon warriors, because this is where they're buried. In front of you, you can see the old barrows. This is coming from Celtic times, way before the Saxons and the Romans got here. If you look over yonder horizon, you can see Dun Castle in the distance. And these barrows are where the old Celtic warriors and Bronze Age warriors were buried, and our Saxon warriors joined them. For just over the hill was a great battle and the remains of a Viking war band.
Could you tell me about these barrows? I'm just curious on why you bury your dead in these barrows.
We don't bury them in them, bury them near them. Our Saxon dead are either buried in the ground in Christian burial, or they are cremated and their ashes placed in pots, and the pots would be buried in the ground together with grave goods for their journey to beyond. Their sword, in fact, would be, if it was a mighty warrior, would be buried with them. They'd also take food and drink for the journey, their armour, their clothing, perhaps a gift for the gods, jewellery or silver perhaps, all are buried with our Saxon warriors and their trip to the afterlife.
What does this ridgeway mean to you and your people?
This is the main route to get from east to west, and for the Saxons it's also a good vantage point. From here we can see the beacons that would watch on the coast for any ship that were bound. We also go across the ridgeway down to Reedypole, which is where we gather the reeds for the repairs to the roof. We also would go fishing, and in times gone past, even the Celts and the Bronze Age people would have gathered stones from the beach at Chesil for their weapons, their slings.
How important is the ridgeway in your stories as a Saxon?
Well, the ridgeway plays a significant part in the area in this particular part of Wessex, and it's a main trackway for moving goods backwards and forwards, but no one comes up here at night, for there's tales to be told about this sacred place to do with the long departed warriors and, of course, the pit of doom. They say that the barrow wights that infest these hills here come out at night looking for lost souls to take back down with them to feed on their lifeblood. And the Vikings, well, they're wandering around trying to get to Valhalla. Luckily they have no heads, so they can't see where they're going.
So how many people would be buried in and around this area that we're standing in?
In Saxon times we've probably got maybe 200-300 warriors, but over there we have the entire Celtic tribe butchered in their home base of Dun Castle. Then, of course, let's not forget the Romans that would have been buried here, and of course the 50-odd Vikings just over the hill in the pit of doom. So, gentlemen, I wish you well on your journey. I hope you'll take back with you some thoughts. How the Vikings, a brutal race, would have punished and tortured. How they look towards the Saxons and the way we settled on the land, turning it from a war-torn kingdom into a place of beauty and of food and drink and wealth for all. And when you go back, perhaps you too will remember you met Leofric in this Saxon land. Fare you well, gentlemen. Have a safe journey back home. I leave you now in the land of the Saxon.
The South Dorset Ridgeway, Saxon times.